We will continue to support the Syrian opposition in order to remove him by force. But as I said earlier, he will be removed.
I am confident that Assad's days are numbered.
The world will not waver. Assad must go.
We both agree that Assad needs to go.
But as you can see, Plan A starts over here in Qatar, goes through Saudi Arabia, so we're good so far. And it would be okay to make it to Turkey if it weren't for Syria. So this, of course, is where the problem comes in. The pipelines are not being talked about. It's a very often ignored topic.
And I'm afraid that not much good is going to come by us escalating by sending ground troops into Syria.
Well, you know, there's a lot of inter-service rivalry all the time, but this is equal opportunity because all four branches are involved. We've got the naval vessels off the coast. They've sent in the Marines to go to Raqqa.
Earlier this week, the Pentagon confirmed a deployment of 400 U.S. Marines to Syria.
Did you open the door for these American troops?
No, we didn't. Any foreign troops coming to Syria without our invitation or consultation or permission, they are invaders.
We got the Air Force bombing, and today we found out that some 23 civilians were killed by U.S. coalition strikes north of Raqqa. And now you've got the Army involved, and they've gone into Manbij to keep a couple of different groups of U.S.-backed rebels from killing each other. So everyone's involved, everyone's in the pool, and somehow the Trump administration thinks that this will work out.
We don't think this is going to help. Well, what are they going to do? To fight ISIS? They actually lost nearly everywhere. They lost in Iraq. They had to withdraw at the end. They didn't succeed anywhere they sent troops. They only create mess. They are very good in creating problems and destroying, but they are very bad in finding solutions.
The Syrian army with the Russian allies have made some really significant gains over this past week. In the Aleppo district, they've wiped out a lot of ISIS.
Russia's doing what we should have done a year ago.
And now they're preparing to move eastward toward Raqqa. The U.S. wants to take Raqqa before the Syrians can get there because they want to make sure that they hand it over to Syrian rebels, who they claim are moderates. But we know from Tulsi Gabbard that there are no moderate rebels.
Why is it that the United States, its allies and other countries are providing support, are providing arms to terrorist groups like al-Nusra, al-Qaeda, Ahrar al-Sham, ISIS, who are on the ground there raping, kidnapping, torturing, and killing the Syrian people, children, men, women, people of all ages. They asked me, why is the United States and its allies supporting these terrorist groups who are destroying Syria when it was al-Qaeda who attacked the United States on 9/11, not Syria? I didn't have an answer for them.
Obviously, the United States government denies providing any sort of help to the terrorist groups that you're talking about. They say they provide help for the rebel groups. Tell us more.
The reality is, Jake, the reality is, and I'm glad you brought up that point, because this is an often talked about thing by people like Adam Kinzinger and others saying, well, we've got to support the moderate rebels. Every place that I went, every person that I spoke to, I asked this question to them. And without hesitation, they said, there are no moderate rebels. Who are these moderate rebels that people keep speaking of? Regardless of the name of these groups, the strongest fighting force on the ground in Syria is al-Nusra or al-Qaeda and ISIS. That is a fact. There's a number of different other groups. All of them essentially are fighting alongside, with, or under the command of the strongest group on the ground that's trying to overthrow Assad. The Syrian people recognize and they know that if President Assad is overthrown, then al-Qaeda or a group like al-Qaeda that has been killing Christians, killing people simply because of their religion or because they won't support their terror activities, they will take charge of all of Syria. This is the reality that the people of Syria are facing on the ground, and why they are pleading with us here in the United States to stop supporting these terrorist groups. Let the Syrian people themselves determine their future, not the United States, not some foreign country.